Get this, it's blown out to 2 hours, 11 to 1 weekdays on the Triple M network. It's me, Tony Martin, a.k.a. which one's he again? We've got Ed Cavalier, a.k.a. I know him, wasn't he? Oh, no, I'm thinking of Josh Lawson.
What?
And Richard Marsland, a.k.a. Dr. McDreamy. You're wrong.
I'm McSteamy.
You're Dr. McDreamy, Richard Marsland.
Okay.
Because Cecilia on the phones, look, she's agreeing, has had 2 dreams about you in the last 24 hours. 2.
Sickening.
How much is she sleeping is the first question.
She
Well,
described
if you know you're going to have Marsland, you'd be on the nod all the time.
That's the thing is that I heard that there were 2 versions of me in her dream, Michael Keaton multiplicity style.
Oh, really?
Which makes sense because I actually don't have that many dreams, so I can understand my dream self going out and finding other gigs elsewhere.
And like in Multiplicity with Michael Keaton, was the dream confined to the garage because the special effects were in their infancy?
I think so.
All right.
I had an awful dream.
Hang on a second. Look, Cecilia's having a Still Knox Slurpee in a desperate attempt to bring back Marsland to the dreamscape.
Still Knox, everyone's favourite sleeping tablet.
Oh, you were telling me about your
I had
dream.
an awful dream. I'm quite tired today. Didn't sleep much. I think it's probably because of this dream. Do you know the catch up?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Vaguely.
Is that still on?
I think it's still on. It's kicking goals. And I had this dream that one of the hosts at the end of the show,
Which one?
Libby Gore,
Yeah.
right?
Libby Gore.
At the end of the show, they all sort of get up and walk out.
Yeah.
And when she got up, there was a sound guy on her chair just gasping for air. He'd been there the whole show. It's a terrible dream. And I couldn't. And then when I was thinking about it this morning, I was trying to remember whether he was dead or whether he still had the twitch of life or whether he went. But the audience cheered. That's all I can remember.
So the catch-up is rating quite well in your head.
Yeah, in my head, it's killing.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
Was the set in your dream copied exactly from an American dream?
Oh, bang.
In the format?
I resent that, Richard. I resent that.
My
Hey,
apologies.
do you think the amount of food you eat is what is causing these
definitely.
dreams? Yeah,
Definitely.
and you do eat while we're doing the show, and people think, oh, that's just a joke. That's just some stick. Okay, Leah, listen to that.
That's
Okay.
That's a tuna wrap.
Just put that down.
And that's a turkey sandwich. Yep.
Put that down because I have a clip from yesterday's show where you were just blatantly eating a sandwich while you were talking to one of our callers.
No, I wasn't.
Have a listen to this.
Rod, how are you?
I'm not too bad, fellas. How are we?
We're excellent, sir. You're in Brisbane, are you not?
I am.
And what's your free phone, brother?
Well, what I usually do, I get rather bored quite easily.
I saw it happen one more time.
And what's your free phone, brother?
Well, what I usually do...
I forgot. I just literally forgot that I was on air. And I'd use that "Are you in Brisbane, bro?" line to buy me some time to try and get the sandwich out of the bag quietly.
So you could reach for the next course.
And what's your free phone, brother?
Well, what I usually do...
And I saw you bust me because I was just sitting here, and what's your free... And I stopped and looked around, and you were all looking at me. I was like, yeah, you're right. This isn't the time for a sandwich.
Yeah, but that's not the first time this has happened.
Yes, it is.
It is not. Last week when Shane Maloney, respected novelist, was on the show.
Yeah.
Have a listen. You'll have to listen quite closely in the background. Turn up your radio, listeners. Check this out. Is it hard to crowbar crime into the life of a character who's, well, essentially an MP?
Well, he's a sort of ordinary bloke, really, in lots of ways, and so he just gets suckered into things. I started off writing these books by wondering, what it would be like if you figured out somebody was trying to kill you and you had no idea why.
Right.
And that's really how the series starts, and that's a few books back. And it just takes off from there. You put an ordinary bloke under some sort of stress where his loyalty hooks him into things, and he feels like only he can solve the problem, and every step he makes, it gets worse. Well, that's the premise of them.
At some point, we should probably mention what happens in Sucked In.
Oh, yeah.
Do you want to tell us quickly, Shane, what the Sucked In story is?
Sure. Oh, well, the story opens with a dry lake.
Yeah.
So it's a somewhat contemporary setting. And the discovery of human remains in the bottom of this dried-up lake, which turn out to be connected with some business that happened in a union about 20 years back when our hero was just starting off his political career, and the people involved have gone on to become among the great and good in the land. There's a senator, and there's the pro-vice-chancellor of the University of Maribyrnong. And it looks like this whole thing might, well, get out of its box and start causing a few problems. So our hero steps in to try and figure out
All right. I mean, it was very nice of Shane not to mention that.
But was I in that clip? Was I cooking or building an army of robots?
Well-fed robots. Popcorn for everybody.
The podcast is good, right?
Yeah, it's good, but we're having our ass kicked on iTunes by what?
A number of things. The Happy Tree Friends, etc., and various other radio and television programs more popular than our good selves.
Sure.
But we're also getting beaten by something called Sex Tips.
Sex Tips is like, I think The Chaser are number one.
Absolutely, and we love them.
They're
a lot.
always number one, deservedly so. But Sex Tips is coming in at number 2.
Phew. Knocked Thank God You're Here off its perch.
Yeah.
Knocked all sorts of popular radio stations off. Now, I've got a grab here. Now, this is the kind of stuff that we should be doing if we want to get up towards the lofty heights of the Sex Tips. This is the one entitled Homemade Sex Toys. Let's have a listen.
Now our next toy, well, if you like making love on the couch, you should like making love to the couch. All you need for this one is plastic bag, lubricant, and scissors. I suggest cutting off the top of your Ziploc bag or whatever you use, just so nothing gets in the way. Alright, then lube up, and then let's go over to the couch. Alright, so you got your plastic bag all lubed up and ready to go. What you do is you put it under the cushion, slide your inside,
Okay.
push the cushion down,
Right.
push down on the cushion for more pressure, and hump away.
And there you have it.
So what are we doing wrong? What are we doing wrong?
So much. We've never said fill a plastic bag full of lube.
Yeah.
We've never allowed anyone to hump anything in their house.
No.
We're doing so much wrong. Look at that. She said a plastic bag. Try and cut off a Ziploc bag. Well, what if, like me, you use a chip wrapper?
But why the couch? Why the couch?
So you can press down for extra pressure.
That's desperate, isn't it?
Isn't that amazing?
The couch.
Yeah.
Don't let that person pop down to Couch Warehouse. What a nightmare.
Sweet deal.
All these couches must go.
They're soiled. They are soiled. Maybe our friends down at IKEA could invent a couch that's already got the lube bag in it.
That is number 2 on iTunes. Is it a vodcast?
It is a vodka.
So it's got pictures.
Disturbing imagery.
All right.
Disturbing imagery.
Who are these people waffling on? It's me, Tony Martin, and Ed
Okay.
Cavalier.
He is now describing himself as Scrooge McDuck. I told you they got their inspiration from Donald Duck cartoons, did I not?
See, I call myself Scrooge McDuck, but I get my inspiration from Donald Duck cartoons, an entirely different cartoon.
He's doing some avant-garde material at Peter Costello.
Real beat poetry stuff these days.
I tell you where the good stuff is at the moment.
Where's
That's
that?
the Senate Estimates Committee.
Oh, that's great gear, isn't it? 2-drink minimum.
Yeah.
It's getting very heated. Senator Faulkner. He's throwing pens and picking up calculators.
Who's
And
Faulkner? I don't know who's Senator Faulkner.
he's an old Labor cat, bit of a toe cutter,
Oh, yeah.
with big glasses.
Really?
What's going on there, Rich?
Well, I mean, they were arguing about the renovations to the lodge.
Oh, yes.
The $475,000.
Yeah, it's not
Yeah.
enough.
And now they're complaining about the IR ads.
And why are we spending all this money? Because we spent $55 million to serve up something people don't want. So now we've got to retract it, do we?
Yeah.
So it's
Seems
another
that way.
4 or 5 million a week to say, I can't believe it's not work choices. Okay, well, we're going to have some more on that tomorrow. I think we've got the answer to that problem. But people are emailing in about Scrooge McDuck, a.k.a. Ed Cavalier. Listen to this. Cal says, I recently landed a plum job, pun intended, at my local video library.
Good on you.
The only problem is I got the gig Cavalier style by lying gratuitously about my own ability in this instance, my extensive movie knowledge. Now, is that really a requirement at the video shop?
Not at first.
Yeah.
At first, you just need a rudimentary knowledge where the McConaughey titles are.
Yeah.
You need to have seen a few Sandra Bullock titles.
Yeah. See, I always test out my local...
I'm sure you do.
Oh, they get a rigorous testing from me, the video click. You go, okay, what's your emergency recommendation? And if they just do that lazy old anything in new releases...
I hate that.
Ooh, I hate that.
We would sometimes, the boss would come down and direct us to make sure that we were recommending things from the new release shelf.
Right.
And we, in good conscience, I couldn't do that, Rich. You know what I'm saying?
Well, see, that's what Cal is saying.
I can't recommend Glimmer Man while With Nail and I sits down the back collecting dust.
Glimmer Man.
It's not how I roll. I
Although...
can't recommend Tomcats with Jerry O'Connell and Jake Busey when Midnight Run gathers dust.
Midnight Run, see, that's what I was going to say. This person, Cal, would very much appreciate a list of your top 3 go-to titles.
Make your own up.
Ones that you can recommend in emergencies. My one, top of the list, is always Midnight Run because it's a movie that everyone likes.
Now, who's in it?
Charles Grodin, Robert De Niro.
2. There we go.
Dennis
Straight off the bat.
Farina.
Dennis Farina.
Yaphet Kotto.
Yaphet Kotto, Joe Pantoliano. Great names. You know, I know you'd rather want Tomcats because it has a testicle rolling up a corridor in one scene. I noticed this. A lot of video shops, here are the 2 I get. Shawshank Redemption.
I cannot stand that movie.
Okay.
Jeez Louise.
Usual Suspects. That's the other one, apparently. Emergency recommendation.
Yeah, that's fair. But Shawshank Redemption is the movie. Every single person would come up, put it on the counter and go, "You seen that?" And I go, "Yep, I have seen that." Ugh. And then they'd launch into a 17-minute monologue about how they never saw it coming and what would it be like to be in jail. And isn't Morgan Freeman so great? He's like a philosopher.
But hang on.
He's just a guy that gets out of jail.
So
It takes him 17 years to come up with a plan. John Goodman does it in about 5 minutes in Raising Arizona.
So
in The Naked Gun 2, a man pole vaults his way out of jail. Now that is a plan.
But okay, so they're standing there saying, we want this much beloved classic that everyone in Australia likes. It was in the top 10 favourite films of all time, Shawshank Redemption. Highest renting DVD of its year.
All right.
What does Ed Cavalier say? No. Get...
Wizard of Speed and Time. It's in your video shop, stop motion, right? It's a guy. All he's got is one camera, a wizard's outfit, and some stop motion photography. Incredible.
And you wonder why it took us so many months to attract a sponsor. I'm amazed that people at Nissan Navara want to get behind the man who recommends the Wizard of Speed and Time. Oh, look, I just heard an interesting discussion off here. Someone was talking about Happy Days in this room, and Ed Cavalier, having seen off the Shawshank Redemption, has started laying into Happy Days. Such a bland show. Who could have a negative opinion about Happy Days? Here's what he said. I'll have to clean it up. Richie Cunningham is an effing idiot. Imagine going Richie Cunningham.
He was so wet. It was like the whole show was always drenched in water, ever wet and flopping around on the floor. And then the Fonz would come in. How could you idolise the Fonz? The short guy that hangs out in the toilets. What's cool about that? If I was to hang out in the toilets in a leather jacket trying to get people to come into my office, I'd be arrested.
All right. Okay, we might do that later. Clown hired to cheer up monkeys. A German zoo has hired a clown to stop its monkeys getting bored.
Oh, gosh.
Turns out that the chimps, baboons, gorillas and orangutans in this German zoo were becoming aggressive when bored. Cracking it. So the answer was to bring in a clown. If you're a clown who entertains monkeys for a living, really, that's time to have a long, hard look at yourself, isn't it?
I'm big in the primate market. Really big.
Maybe that's a job for Galen. We've been trying to think.
Not bad.
Of a job for Galen.
I was thinking that he'd be good to get, if horses don't want to mate, they could get Galen, sort of parade him around the paddock with a little tail with his horse face making the noises, and then once the horses get on heat, he runs off, they bring in the real one, and away they go.
So he gets them started.
Yeah. He fluffs.
He's the support act.
He's a fluffer.
For horses. All right, it isn't what's a job for Galen.
No.
That's not what we're doing.
Okay.
What are we doing? The Nobel Prizes.
The laureates.
Oh, how was the red carpet? Was Richard Wilkins there?
He was. They were hot too.
What are you wearing, Jose Ramos Horta.
What? Plunging necklines on all the scientists. Hot stuff. No, I don't know if they're on now, but they're coming up.
Yeah.
Or they've been one of the two, or the three. And but it's always for peace,
Sure.
literature. These are boring topics.
Yeah.
Is this the one that they give away in Sweden and
Yeah.
you don't know if you've been nominated until afterwards? Like they announce the winner without announcing the nominations? Is that how it works?
Really?
That's a bizarre way of doing it, but fair enough.
So you get the winner up on stage,
Yeah.
and he goes, and the nominees are.
And the losers were, and the people who lost to me are. I think so. Well, because Japanese manga comics,
Yeah.
they want to get a Nobel Prize happening for like best drawing and all that kind of
Oh,
stuff.
really? Because it's literature.
Yeah.
Why not the literature
Why can't they get in?
of the graphic novel?
Yes, or the graphic novella, if you will. So, what are you the Nobel Prize winner of?
The Nobel laureate.
What's not getting recognised by this highfalutin event in Sweden that you're not even invited to until you win?
And it can be anything at all. You could call up and go, I'm the Nobel laureate of clowns that entertain monkeys at zoos.
I'd love to hear from you.
Talking with your mouth full. That would be you. I
Yeah.
think.
They're laureate of talking. Laureate of becoming unwelcome in my own home.
Oh, is that really?
Quite good at
Is
that.
it getting tense? Is
Oh,
it?
Little, yeah.
Yeah. What about John, your mate John? Has he found somewhere for you guys to move into? Even just a dump master, a cardboard box would be probably quite satisfying at this point.
It's a tough rental market.
Yeah, it's a squeeze out there. So yes, I'm looking for a house, and I'm really good at a slow process of isolation in my own home.
Yeah, that's right.
Done pretty much exclusively with me having the television on and screaming at it from across the room. People trying to enjoy Ugly Betty while I scream, "Oh, she's real ugly, she is. Let me guess. Something's going to happen at the fashion mag. What a surprise."
This is why he's homeless. George McEncroe from our Brisbane office is here. And Ed Cavalier, that's just a great comedy idea you came up with off air. Do you want to save it or do you want to say what it is?
I was saying that they should, a lot of banks and stuff are outsourcing all of their call centre work to India.
Yeah.
I can't believe you're going to
Well,
say that.
we should outsource all of our prank phone calls and gotcha calls to India. So it could be people with real Indian accents
That's
calling
great.
you up at a quarter of the price, and we could get 5 or 6 at once.
You're
We
so
could round the
naughty.
clock.
That is gold. I'm sorry. I don't know if anyone else is laughing, but that amuses me. George, you're from Brisbane, as we know.
I am.
Now, movies. We're always talking movies on this show. You've seen a film we haven't talked about yet, and that's that German movie, The
Yes.
Lives of
Yeah,
Others.
good time.
Perfect film.
Sounds boring. Sounds German and subtitly. I don't want to see that. People are thinking, no,
Wrong.
it's good.
It's really good.
It's hard, I know, to get people to go along to a German film with subtitles. No, don't deny it, Ed Cavalier. How would your housemates go? Okay, they're into Grey's Anatomy and Ugly Betty. If you said, no, let's go and see this German movie with subtitles, what would they say?
Is Patrick Dempsey in it?
Oh, no, that would have been... Oh, no. He couldn't do it. But he's pretty cute.
But, if you don't like the storyline,
Yep.
it's all about the Stasi and all that gear back in the 80s.
Yeah.
You can just go along and look at a lot of men in grey slacks, grey zip-up shoes, grey bomber jackets and grey ties, grey thin 80s ties. That Stasi German agent look is coming back. When we finish with emo,
Really?
when people's
I'll never be finished.
when people's fringes are back where they should be, let's move on to the Stasi look here in Australia.
You, hey, little Alex Perry, is he the chef or is it Fred Perry? Who's the
Fred Perry.
Fred Perry's
Alex
the
Perry is more of a chef.
Is he? All right,
Pretty
little
sure.
Fred Perry, you.
Are you I'm thinking
Fred
of
Perry?
I'm thinking of Steve Perry. So sorry.
Perrier? Weren't we talking about food?
We're talking about food.
I'm
That's what-
hungry.
That's what we. Are you hungry?
You promised food, and now there's none on offer.
George, you work on what I would call a proper radio show.
This is true.
You're under the command of Ian Skippen. Now, he's a radio professional, been around for years. Would
time.
he let someone on his show basically operate a Bay Marie during the course of the broadcast?
No, certainly not. And it's all the bits of egg over the mic that bothers me. Now, Skip would have the Glen 20 out in a heartbeat. You wouldn't be getting away with that nonsense.
Firstly, it's tuna, and I'm going to pick
Okay.
it off during the song.
Oh, well, that's all right then. No, you can eat sometimes. But
Yeah.
you've got to be really hungry. You've got to show him your blood sugar levels before he'll let you crack open the Smith's crisps.
And, of course, no water, I'm assuming. What level's Brisbane on at the moment?
Oh, level 5,
Up
I
to
think.
5.
I think that's no internal bleeding.
Really?
It's pretty strict. Things are very, very tough.
Or the water Stasi come down on you. And they're grey slacks. I'm telling you, it's the look.
It is the look time.
And let's get this Perry confusion sorted out. Who is Alex Perry?
Alex Perry.
Designer.
Designer of dresses.
Fashion designer.
Who is Neil Perry?
That's the chef, I believe.
Who's sporting a switch?
And Steve Perry, who was that?
It's the former lead singer of the band Journey and had his own solo hit.
Oh, no, please.
Don't do it.
Don't do that.
Don't do it.
Oh, Sherry by Steve Perry. We do not want that. Stop.
Sherry by Perry.
And who is Perry
on.
Perry Sauce?
There's so many Perrys though. There's Linda Perry from Four Non Blondes, and there's Joe Perry from Aerosmith, and the other Stephen Perry was the inventor of the rubber band.
So, hello to all you Perrys out there.
Put on your Rich.
No, stop it.
Stop it.
Can't have that. Perry Mason. You've got Perry White, the editor of the Daily Planet. Perry Como.
Oh, yeah.
And for the one person who'll know what I'm talking about, Perry Ubu, the experimental band of the late 70s, early 80s. No, don't you dare.
That's one of their hits.
I'd rather have Perry Ubu.
One of their hits. How many were there?
Perry Como sings Perry Ubu. There's a sketch we won't ever be doing. Cross that off the list. George, what about country cooking? Do you get into that?
About it. Are you talking sort of Maggie Beer and Gingham, or are you talking about restaurants in...
A restaurant in the country. That's what I like.
Oh, that's sort of country cooking.
Yeah.
So it's more country dining than cooking.
Country dining. Why are we bringing this up today, Ed?
So I was reminded of a place I went to in Grafton in New South Wales called the Golden Fang, I think it is. Or something along, Golden Dragon, something along those lines. The most delicious Chinese food you've ever had in your life. And there's nothing they won't put pineapple in.
No.
That's what I like about them. Fried rice had pineapple in it. The green tea had pineapple in it.
It's all very glossy, though,
It was
isn't it? You
delicious.
know...
Oh, so much sheen.
Yeah, it's
It
nice.
was blinding. They
It's
give you
1970s
sunglasses.
Chinese cooking.
I just love it.
Beautiful.
I love it when you get fried rice, bang, pineapple, thanks very much. Watermelon in the sweet and sour pork, you crazy fools. But I'm with you.
They're good. I like those restaurants in the country sometimes where they go, we do pizza and Chinese
I
and
love it.
Korean. And you go, look, if you're going to do Japanese, I can see that you might go to Korean. If you're going to do Turkish, I can see you might do Greek. But I'm not buying pizza, Italy to China,
World
here
Cafe.
in Ballarat. I don't buy it. I
No.
don't care.
When I go to a Chinese restaurant, this might be accidentally racist.
Here we cue up the gong.
I need to be served by someone who is Chinese,
Yeah.
because if it's a blonde-haired, blue-eyed Aussie,
You're not
I
buying
think
it.
it's
You go,
somehow
where's your pineapple?
it's not as Chinese.
That's right.
You've been ripped off.
There are 6 billion of you. Can we not? We need to be.
And you
served
all
by-
want to serve me food. So come on. Get your act together.
When I go to a Chinese restaurant, I want just one thing, and that's someone else's sunglasses coming around on the Lazy Susan going into some soup. That's what I want to see. I've never been to a Chinese restaurant where that hasn't happened. Hey, here's an exciting thing. A brand new segment.
Yeah,
Is that what we're doing?
A new segment. I could just tell you what it is,
Yeah.
or I could sing you into it. Are they lyrics by Keith Urban or children's poetry? Or are they lyrics by Keith Urban? Kids have got poems and Urban's got lyrics. Who can tell the difference? Kids have got lyrics and stop the intro. That's all I've made up. Thank you.
I love how you pre-recorded that.
Yeah.
And spent hours getting it right.
No, because you said off air, oh, we'll use the Mexican music. And I was like, well, now I've got to make something up.
I've got to find some Mexican music.
Yeah, and we had to get the mariachis in.
Okay. The
We should have
mariachis.
we should have
Mariachis.
we should have mariachis.
Yeah,
All right.
Okay. Then
Okay.
Put it on the list. Now, I don't know how this is going to work because I didn't realise Keith Urban had any songs.
Oh.
Because I could never think of one. I thought he just got around the country saying, check out me here.
Yeah, check me wife.
And me missus.
Yeah, check me wife.
But apparently there's music
No,
as
no,
well.
no. This album's going back to 91, which
Wow,
is
really? Okay.
it's great to know. But also, what we have here is I've got poems by children aged 4 to 6, and then I've got some lyrics of the man himself. Now, to help you out, I'm going to sing them, and you have to guess.
No, that's helpful, is it? All right.
Well, would you like to sing them?
No.
Exactly. Then you have to guess which is which. Richard, you're first.
Okay.
Ready?
Yep.
But I'll sing them in the style of Urban, as I would see Urban if I'd ever heard any of his songs.
Here we go.
Hit me. Yeah.
Flowers, flowers drifting by the pane, just like in my dreams, so sweet, flower red, blue, or pink.
I'm going to say that's Keith Urban.
Incorrect, my friend. That was from Lena, aged 4.
Well, she's overqualified.
She's quite a lyricist.
Sounded like it was from Chad Kroger, age 4.
Yeah, right. Yeah, I didn't get his voice right. I'll change it for this one. All right, Tone. Keith Urban or Child's poem. Ready?
Yep.
Well, I can't believe I'm sitting here today, yeah, picking on my banjo, big smile on my face.
That's idiotic. Surely an infant must have created that.
It's all urban.
Oh, really?
Yeah, from the 1991 album called...
So you're right. You're right.
It's one of those. It's just choose which reaction you'd like, Rich.
All right, Rich, you ready?
Yep. Sorry, I'm manning sound effects over here badly.
Oh, okay, ready? 2, 3, 4. Taste the wild honey. Listen to the sound of the wind that's blowing through the trees.
The Tenacious D. That's got to be a small child.
That's urban, brother. That's urban. That's
that really
that's
urban?
Pure urban.
All right.
He knows the wild honey and what it tastes like. All right, finally, Tony.
Yes.
This one's called Candle. Okay, ready? Here we go. 2, 3, 4. Candle, candle, burning bright. When met you at Christmas night. All the things you like to do is gone until morning comes again.
Oh, that surely must be Keith Urban.
Incorrect, my friends. From Lisa, age 3.
Oh, wow. Send her an ARIA award in the post.
So there we go. That's the end. Should we outro it? 2, 3, 4. Well, kids have got poems and Evan's got lyrics. They're basically indecipherable. Who knows which is which? That'll do.
That was a terrific rehearsal. And we'll be back with the actual segment next. That special that was on the Crime Investigation Network last night.
Which was?
Well, we're calling it I Can't Stop Tooling About Downstairs. When I first heard the name of that show, I just thought, is this another It Takes Two celebrity kind of a deal?
I can't stop masturbating. Yes. With Todd McKenney. Wow.
It was on the Crime Investigation Network last night, and Richard forgot to tape it.
Yeah, I did. But luckily, I caught a little bit of the repeat at about 3:30 in the AM. Yeah. So, yeah, no, it's a fruit fest. This guy's losing jobs, and how many times are we talking a day? 9 or 10?
But what's he
Something like
gaining?
25, apparently.
that. Beats my personal best.
Okay, now...
More of that next.
See, that wasn't mentioned in the article.
Was it?
Richard, you've got to clean this segment up. While we're talking about things in Melbourne, I tell you who people love in Melbourne. The Lord Mayor.
The Lord Mayor John Sow, and you knowing everything about politics might have seen this story on Channel 10. Speaking of caption competitions, maybe we could run one on this just to work out what exactly is going on here.
Now, the usually jovial Lord Mayor John Sow became quite flustered when pressed on the no confidence issue during a media conference this afternoon. Let's take a listen.
At the end of the day, right, the people will judge me, and see whether I deliver or not.
We haven't doctored that at all, and I'm just wondering, is it a Keith Urban lyric or is it?
I think that's also.
I can't work. I don't mean to be offensive, but I can't work out what that was.
Yeah, no.
It was apparently him being flustered, but is he being flustered?
I think it's the Joe Bjorky-Peterson style. If you just speak, and if no one can understand, then they've got to love you.
Oh, I could always understand what Sir Joe was saying.
Really?
Yeah, they're all the same, these different people. I've got 1 foot on the sticky paper, 1 foot sliding down a slippery slope, and another one walking up the street in the opposite direction.
It's 3 feet.
He was the master of the leg metaphor with too many legs. Bring him back. Reanimate the corpse, I say. What's going on in the war on terror? It's time for the spies to come out. I love it when the spies come out.
Oh, yeah.
When the newspapers with eye holes come out of the, the prop room cupboard and the spying starts. Check this out.
But it's also been revealed the United States is using sabotage to stop Iran developing an atomic bomb.
Yep. Industrial sabotage is a way to stop the program without fingerprints on the operation.
The American television network CBS says the US and its allies are using undercover agents, including former Russian nuclear scientists, to sell Iran dodgy components on the black market.
So as long as the Iran government don't get Channel 10 News, that's going to be a great plan. What's that about? There's going to be no fingerprints. Yeah. That's why I'm telling the assembled media of the world. So what's going to be looking for shonky parts?
Yeah.
How does that work?
Well, I think if you're trying to build a nuclear bomb in Iran and somebody sells you a slinky saying it's a plutonium rod, it's probably the dodgy Russians.
Where does this feet seat go? What am I to do with these components?
How do I launch with stable table?
I don't know. It just doesn't seem like that secret.
No.
That espionage.
I don't know if Mal's quite got the espionage thing down pat just yet.
Maybe they don't put it on the late bulletin.
No, that's true.
More people are listening.
Yeah, that's
Maybe
so
the
true.
5 o'clock doesn't have
true.
such an Iranian demographic. I don't know. You can do a generic Beatles impression, but actually getting it down to which one is which, that's the hard part.
Is it? Ringo's pretty.
Which one's he?
Yeah, Thomas the Tank Engine.
Ringo.
Guy.
Oh, yeah.
Ringo.
Oh, go again, Rich. Say the fat controller for me as Ringo.
The fat controller said hello to Thomas the... No, that's not right. No, so I lost it.
Thomas the Tank Engine, Canberra. That's what that is.
I can't do it.
Paul McCartney,
Yeah,
sort of up here, like that.
That's more John Lennon. I think
Is
that sounds
John
like
Lennon?
John Lennon.
I can never tell them apart. Who's the one who's down like that?
That's John Lennon.
There's that the one like John Lennon.
That's
And
John-
which
that's
is
pretty
George
good.
Harrison? Which one is he?
Hello, I'm George Harrison. Hey, apples and pears.
Oh, blimey,
God
Governor.
blimey. Hey,
Dick Van Dyke.
got me plums caught in a double decker.
So it's Paul McCartney up here,
Yep.
then John Lennon down there.
And Ringo's.
Ringo's
in-
apparently
That's-
reporting
From Canberra.
Ringo's doing politics. So that means, there's only like, all right then. Like, how are you, say?
That's
Like
Yoko.
a washerwoman. Some sort of Cockney washerwoman. Must be George Harrison.
We'll say that's Stu Sutcliffe.
All right.
then.
Who's Stu Sutcliffe, Tony?
He was in the Beatles for a while. Remember Backbeat?
Oh, is he was
Yeah.
he Stephen Dorff?
As long as I have a 90s reference, he knows what
Yeah,
I'm
I'm with
talking
you.
about.
It's the way he stands there. That's what they'd said.
Who's that?
That was John Lennon.
Okay.
Wow.
Every now and then, we like to get the listeners to
Nah.
contribute. Oh, you don't want to do this?
No. I got better phone topics.
You've got better phone
Yeah,
topics.
yeah. All right, how about who's been tasered? No? All right, you don't like that? Then how about where did you find Jesus? No, don't like that? Okay, how about whose lump is that? Any good? No? Okay, how about here's a good phone topic. Want to come back to my place? No? All right, one more if you don't like that. How about Tony Martin's bunk bed rodeo? No?
We may just do that by October. You know, when the tank's really running dry. What was that bunk bed idea you had?
Tony Martin's bunk bed rodeo.
That'll sound like spun gold in October, I'm telling you. Okay, so we want to do this thing where the listeners call up and just
Yeah.
tell us what they want to hear on Get This.
Hello, John.
Hi guys, how you going?
Excellent. What would you like to hear?
I'd like to hear some Passiona High sketches done Donkey Courtroom style.
Oh, Donkey Courtroom.
Completely.
Possibly our worst segment. Are you a fan of Donkey Courtroom?
No, but I'm a fan of Passiona High.
Okay, fair enough. If we were going to do this, I reckon we'd want to write you into it. Who would your character be?
I'd be Biff Simpson from the rival school that comes in and tries to beat up some of the students.
Biff Simpson.
Biff. That's a great name. All right, Biff, you're in. Hello, Ken. How are you?
I want to hear more Cavalioki.
No, Ken.
Cavaloki, is that what we're calling it?
Ken. Come on, man.
What sort of songs do you reckon he should tackle?
Well, being a pussy lover, a cat lover, he should do some Pussycat Dolls.
Oh, I don't give a something. Keep staring at me beep. I don't know if I can handle the lyrical mastery of that bad boy.
Tony could do some mbops.
Sure.
And nothing for Richard to do. I like that, Ken. I
Until
like
then,
it.
we're just going to have to be content with...
Your body is a wonderland.
Don't look surprised at me, Marsland.
I don't-
You're so happy with yourself. Oh, I don't know how this works. You know what?
I know not what this desk does.
Bad is... Look
Look at how many of our callers are now hanging up.
Yeah, I know.
Stop playing that, Richard. Who's
Hello.
got a suggestion for Get This?
Murray, how are you?
I'd like to hear some feedback from the punters and how their missus let them know they're up for some action.
Wow.
Oh.
What, is it normally a form letter from at your house, Murray?
No, my missus just comes over and she goes, "Oh, darling, I've changed the sheets."
Oh, yeah.
Oh, that's a turn on. Let's soil some Manchester.
Nice clean sheets, Murray. Good on you, man.
Yeah, beautiful.
Hey, that's a good idea.
Okay.
Like, write
Yeah,
that
'cause
down.
there'd be a lot of stories out there, a lot of different, crazy little quirky things.
All right, that one's being written down in pen.
So
That's how
so that's
serious
going to
we
happen.
are. Thanks very much.
Thanks, man. Best of luck over the weekend. Hi, Carlos. How are you?
Well, last year you guys started a movie geek club and I was the first member and then it just stopped. I mean, my life's been over. I've been stuck in my room waiting for the phone and nothing.
So you're the only member of our movie geek club. How sad is that? Hey, but are you still conducting meetings on your own anyway?
Oh, yeah, me and my little cat and my dog, yeah, it's tops.
Yeah, what sort of movies are you talking about at that club?
Just the obscure ones. I mean, just stuff that you can't find, like Wet Hot American Summer. I?
Oh,
mean,
yes.
Yeah.
Now, are your cat and dog just continuously trying to bring up Milo and Otis?
Well,
The only film relevant to them?
More of a long way home or whatever it was, the journey home.
yes,
You know,
Yeah,
just
Far
something
From Home.
Special. Yeah, that's it. You got it.
The something of Yellow Dog.
Yeah, it is.
We went-
Old Yeller?
Yeah,
Old Yeller.
No, that one there, Far From Home. And it's like a couple of Labradors, on the tear. The Incredible Journey style. I live in a Labrador family. We go and see all of them. Yeah. It's pathetic.
There's not enough dog movies.
No, there aren't enough dog movies. You
Thanks,
can't
Carlos.
go wrong with dog movies, in my opinion.
K9?
You can go wrong with dog movies. We've had so many calls about something you were talking about the other day, Ed. This bloke who's trying to steal your girlfriend.
Oh, yeah,
What's going-
Pirano or whatever his name is.
Pirano now.
It's Pirano or Priamo. You know what he sounds like?
What?
I know that his name sounds like one of those upmarket biscuits they're trying to flog as being cafe style.
Oh, yeah. Is that it?
Yeah, it's called like Guillermo or Guillermo, Guantanamo, something like that.
How's he going?
Nah, no dice.
No dice.
No dice.
Although-
Look, he presents an interesting picture because he's halfway across the world trying to steal my girlfriend via the internet, which is where I found her, so fair cop. And he's got cash, prospects, and he's building an orphanage because the old orphanage he built doesn't hold enough orphans.
And he invented the BlackBerry.
Oh, yeah, and he invented the BlackBerry.
That's what he claims. Well, you've got to be careful here because I came in this morning and Ed's telling me what he's been watching.
Oh, yeah.
Usually downloaded stuff from the internet.
Stolen.
And I go, how does the International Observer take to this? And he goes, I don't think she realised what a rigorous viewing schedule it was going to be when she came over from Canada.
And she says every now and again we could go out.
Yeah.
And I say we could do that.
But
that's what they'd want us to do.
Yeah, that's right.
You're a victim.
We could be staying at home watching Order in the House. Do you ever watch Order in the House?
I watched it yesterday.
See, she'd learn about Australia watching
would.
that. And, people probably think it's boring,
No.
that there's no gags in there.
No.
But Peter Costello, he is just busting out the gags left, right and centre. Check it out.
Mr. Speaker, a tax policy is not an optional extra in a political campaign. It's the basis of how you pay for all of your services. It's like a cricket team without a wicket. It's not like a sunroof on your Commodore. It doesn't come along as one of the options. It's like the steering wheel. It's like the engine. A political party without a tax policy is like a soloist turning up to go on It Takes Two on a Tuesday night. It can't be done. It's lonely. It's missing something. I am asked if I am aware of other tax policies.
Oh, Top Gear.
He's laying him in the aisles.
How do you follow that?
Is it was it the member for Age Services just on drum?
Yeah.
Getting
It's Australian Parliament live from the Friars Club. And, Downer gets up, though.
Oh, does he?
Oh, he puts in. Check this out.
Mr. Speaker, first can I thank the honourable member for his question, and let me just say that I'll be visiting the United States from tomorrow at the invitation of Secretary of State Condoleezza Rice, and the visit...
the member for Gorton is warned.
Mr. Speaker, I will be visiting the United States at the invitation of the Secretary of State Condoleezza Rice, and it will be an opportunity to discuss issues such as fighting against terrorism.
Okay, it's putting me to sleep now.
He's on there.
Hey,
Something's going to happen.
They're the big guns. There's so many guys up the back.
Yeah, it is the best job in the world.
Yeah.
Just hang up the back in a suit. Doesn't fit you. A little bit of gut hanging out the bottom, and every now and then go...
And, the guys from seats of Parliament you've never heard of. I didn't know about this bloke.
The honourable member for Calare.
Minister, the Urbis Keys Young report.
Order. The member for Calare has the call and he'll be heard. The member for Calare.
Mr. Speaker, my question...
Order. The member for Calare has the call and he'll be heard.
Yeah, I know, it's cheap. It was late.
I like to think of it, though. One of the 50-year-old fat guys just dressed as Anthony Calare. Little leather jacket on his knees with the shoes out the front, half rude style.
What about the man out the front?
Oh, yes.
We haven't heard from John Howard.
No,
and, of course, people love hearing those words that he says when he was on the hot seat.
Oh, yes.
At PLPSFM, the kiddies put him on the hot seat, and he was referring to
vegetables
and occasionally
shorts
and everyone's favourite
Mariana.
People love hearing that.
It's his favourite type of pasta. In the end, we get there.
No, he gets it right the first time.
Oh, and then mucks it up.
Yeah.
Mystifying.
But he was getting it in last night. Check this out.
The Honourable Member for Marinara.
Mariana. Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Would the Deputy Prime Minister outline to the House how this government is helping local councils and communities?
The Honourable Deputy Prime Minister.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker, and I thank the member for Marinara for his question.
Mariana.
And recognise his close involvement with local government and local authorities over many, many years, particularly in his electorate of Marinara in Queensland.
Mariana.
Mr. Speaker.
It's like Rain Man. Just repeating phrases and comments.
But, just finally, it's not just the usual cast. No. They have guests.
Do they?
Guests show up in Parliament.
I inform the House we have present in the gallery this afternoon members of a parliamentary delegation from the Russian Federation. On behalf of the House, I extend a very warm welcome to our visitors.
Oh, no. Sorry.
The Honourable Member for Stirling.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Oh,
My
look.
question is addressed.
No, that's not acceptable.
That's not fair.
That's
Come on.
racist.
That's so racist.
Me no Reiki.
Oh, no, the racism gong is gone.
We're going to have to close this show down.
Yeah.
Was that urine I could hear in the background?
Of course you could. It's Get This. Get This. It's blown out to 2 hours, 11 to 1 weekdays on the Triple M network.